Hello everyone, I don't have any battles in this video. Instead, since Gen 3 UU has ended, and as you can see by this ladder right here, it's not in the ROA spotlight. The month is turned over. At the time of recording this, it is July. So this is the new cool kid stuff for the month. So Gen 3 UU is over, and I thought, why don't I just give my take on these viability rankings that I saw a while ago that I barely remember. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. So I did probably, I think, 27 battles or so, and I got decently high up the ladder, even though there's nobody playing it, so it's nothing to really write home about. So, how about we just go from bottom to top? By the way, this is 2023. Goes to show you how little people care about this format. It's just not cool. It's not hip. It's not young, and it's certainly not fresh. So we'll start with this D tier right here. Absol, never saw that Pokemon. Sneasel, never saw that Pokemon. Persian, nope. Exploud, I don't think so. Politoed, no. Rapidash, nope. Ninetales, nope. Victory Bell, Mantine, no. Oh, Sharpedo, no. I did remember one time. That thing was actually decent. It was some guy, because it's a lower tiered format. The Pokemon there aren't too fast. Some dude I battled, he had a Pataya Berry, so he went for Endure. Or maybe it was a Select Berry. It was one of the two. He had like Substitute, Endure, and all that, and then he had like Surf Crunch as the stat moves. So it was one of those guys. It's like if you ever played Gen 3 random battles, it's literally every single Blaziken set ever where they just have Endure and then they beat your whole entire team to death at the very last second. Pretty annoying, but I don't think they actually lost. Wait, no, I think they did lose. Pretty sure they lost. Oh, by the way, this person said, for transparency's sake, here's a copy of the spreadsheet with everyone's votes. What if I don't want to look at that? What if I want to stay ignorant and not have the power of knowledge? So Shiftry and Magmar, I don't think I ever saw that. So moving on to C-. I guess this is the closest thing we'll get to an official ranking. Stantler, I don't think I ever saw that. Meganium, no, I would have remembered somebody stinking up the format with that Pokemon. Jumpluff. Ooh, I think so. Admittedly, I was kind of a hypocrite when I first made my teams in the very beginning before I even started battling. I made a Jumpluff. I thought it was going to be cool. I never even tried out the thing just because, to my surprise, I don't think it would have kept up with all the damage output out there. And then Primeape, never saw that thing. Okay, moving on to C tier. Is that a Metang? Yeah, no, that should be in D tier. Ain't nobody using Metang. Oh, brother. Ninjask. I think I might have tried that in the very, very, very beginning. And I'm not sure if the battle was even recorded. Or maybe I did record it, but I lost so fast. I was like, well, what's the point of uploading this? Ninjask, it didn't work like I thought it would, because you can't use Swords Dance Baton Pass. Swords Dance Baton Pass with Ninjask and UU. I don't know if you can do it in OU. Probably. But UU, they're just not strong enough. So it's banned. Cacturn, I might have seen that guy. I know he gets spikes, but never really saw him attain. Definitely never saw that. Bayonet, I did see that a few times. Bayonet actually has a very high attack stat, which is very odd, but it works with its Shadow Ball, because at this point in time in Gen 3, if you did not know, Shadow Ball is a physical move, so I believe I battled one that was choice banned, and that dude was hitting hard. But if you have a normal type Pokemon, you know what I mean, you can kind of just put it in its place. Kabutops, yeah, no. Poliwrath, I don't think so. Camerupt, I actually did battle one, and it did beat me. I battled some guy who literally brought, I believe, 6 Pokemon that had Explosion, and this is one of them. So honestly, that was not a bad strategy. The Pokemon are so weak that, like, these incredibly powerful moves will take out anything. C-rank Clefable, I didn't even know Clefable was in this format. Why did I never think of Clefable? I definitely would have tried Clefable out. I don't know what moves it got. Aggron, I didn't use it. I didn't battle anyone that used it, but I know somebody commented that they're using it because, I could be wrong, but I swear one of you guys said that you're using like a para-flinching set with Aggron. which is kind of disturbing to think about it. But hey, to each their own. Xatu, I actually did make a Xatu in the very beginning. It was like Ninjask. I made it like pre-battling, and I thought it would be okay. Never really got to use it. I guess my other team was doing all right. Raichu, Raichu, I thought was good, but believe it or not, and by the way, I'm spoiling myself looking at these Pokemon. I don't see Pikachu anywhere. I actually used Pikachu towards the end, if you remember, and I'm pretty sure Pikachu is faster than Raichu, which I kind of preferred in this lower speed format. But to my surprise, didn't run into a Raichu. Maybe I should have tried Raichu out for that extra bulk, but I think I wanted speed for some reason. Oh no, it's not that. It's because of the Pikachu's light ball. That thing makes it do like, I think its special attack would be like 400 with that light ball, so I couldn't pass up on that. Mr. Mime, it was the same thing as Xatu. It was a Calm Mind Pokemon, which I'm surprised I didn't try out because I do like that move. And Mr. Mime has pretty high special attack and special defense, so surprised I didn't see any of that. Moving on to B tier. So these are basically B tier, or like, judging by this ranking system, I'm guessing this is supposed to be more of an acceptable Pokemon where if you show up, you may in fact win and has a decent win rate. So first up is Fearow. Fearow, there was one person, I think it was literally the person that was at the top of the ladder at the time. I think their name was P.U. Douche. This guy had a Fearow. I battled him twice, and I did lose both times. And I think it was a choice banded one. Yeah, no, that was the battle where I learned that Fearow can learn Quick Attack. Like, what? That must be a new thing. It definitely could not do that in Gen 1. Fearow hits very hard. It's one of the faster mons. It has one of the highest base attacks, too, so you just put a choice band on that thing, and it kills kind of everybody. Hypno, I definitely battled that one. It was on that one, my opponent brought a stall team. Hypno has a very insanely high special defense. It's so messed up. This thing would have, like, Wish and Protect, and it'd be passing it around. It would have, like, Thunder Wave, all these stupid support moves. That's probably the way you should be playing with Hypno, unless you want to do what the other Psychic types do and use Calm Mind. Oh, speaking of another Psychic type, Girafarig. Never saw that one, though. Yeah, Girafarig, I don't know its base stats off the top of my head. I guess I could just look at all this stuff right now. Why not? Girafarig. Decent special attack, pretty low special defense. I think what holds Girafarig back is it's not really exceptionally good at any one particular stat, whereas the other Psychic types, I think, should be higher than Girafarig, but hey, I didn't try him out. Oh, look! It's another Psychic type. Lunatone, I never saw that guy. I don't think I did. Magnetric, I might have seen that one, like, one time ever, and I think I beat it because my Pikachu was, like, behind a sub or something, or the Magnetric was paralyzed. And I can't remember who it was, if it was either my Pikachu or Electro, but I definitely 3-shot Magnetric with 3 Thunderbolts. Make that make sense to me. Moving on, B rank, Sableye. It was on that one stall team that I saw. Funny enough, it didn't really do much against me. I guess my team was just good for that. Sableye, let's go look at Sableye's stats real quick. Really good typing. At this point in time, Gen 3, Dark Ghost was like S tier typing. It had no weaknesses. Unfortunately, it had some pretty questionable stats with a total of 380, so that's kind of what holds it back. But I mean, it could be cringe. I know it learns Recover. Oh my god. Cradilly. How the hell did I never see a Cradilly? Cradilly would have been so infuriating to battle. Cradilly. Now, that's a really hard to kill Pokemon right there. 97 and 107 defense, and quite a bit of HP. And Grass and Rock is surprisingly good typing, I believe. I mean, you're weak to Ice, which I guess is kind of common, but then you're weak to Fighting, which at this time in Gen 3, Close Combat did not exist. And everyone's favorite move, Focus Blast, Focus Mist, did not exist either. And then there was like Steel type moves like Iron Tail. So Cradilly had very good typing defensively. It was just pretty much only weak to Ice. So I'm really shocked I didn't see that. That would have really ruined my day. Probably aged me like 15 years. Gorbis. I skipped Golduck. I was so mad at Cradilly right there that I oversaw Golduck. Golduck, I believe, is yet another Calm Mind Pokemon. I might have seen that one time. What I think the reason I didn't want to use Golduck is I think it had a bad ability. It's either Damp or Cloud 9. Oh, Damp. Oh, Damp would have helped me beat that one guy with the explosion self-destruct. And then what's your stats? I think Golduck would be fine. I think that's an exceptional spot for a Golduck right there on the thingy. Gorbis. That is a what? Okay, when you see that thing in random battles, you already know what it's gonna do. Rain Dance, Surf, Hidden Power Grass, and or Electric. Well, not and, it would be or. And then Ice Beam, and then probably a Pataya Berry on top of that. I don't think I saw that on UU. Pinsir, pretty sure I never saw that thing. What is Pinsir's attack again? Probably something insanely high. It is 125. Pretty decent defense, too. Interesting. I guess I don't know what held it back. Maybe the typing or the move coverage or something. But yeah, I never saw that. Haunter. That is a really good point, Haunter. I don't think I saw anyone use that Pokemon either, but I actually would have tried Haunter myself. But I don't know. I thought this... Oh, it's NU. What? Haunter is an NU tiered Pokemon, but it is acceptable to use it in UU. Well, I mean, it does have, in my opinion, at this point in time, also very good typing because it was immune to normal, fighting, and it had Levitate, so it was immune to ground. And normal and ground type attacks on the physical side were some of the strongest in the game. They probably were outright the strongest. There was things like Return, Hyper Beam, Double Edge, of course, Earthquake. So Haunter can dodge all that and had a pretty high special attack and pretty good speed. I think Haunter would be ferocious in NU. The fact that it's 2 tiers below UU, but it was being used in UU. Granted, remember, this tier list was like a year and a half ago. And I don't know, I guess the people voted on it, whatever that means. Altaria, I hate that thing. I hate it when I use it. I hate it when other people use it. I saw that Pokemon a lot. If this was based on usage, this thing would probably be like A tier. But this is viability rankings, as you can see there. Altaria was very versatile. I tried to use it as a sweeper. I battled that one guy who used it as like haze to reset the stats. I've seen stall Altarias, support ones. It kind of does anything. It has... Remember, Gen 3 UU, at this point, it was, I think, exceptionally good typing. Nothing really good, but you got immunity to ground. And I think Altaria actually has a naturally very high special defense stat. 105 and then 90 defense, yeah. So one Dragon Dance will put that thing at approximately 105. Wait, is that right? Yeah, 105 attack and then 120 speed. You're basically the strongest. It's kind of like Salamence, but for UU. That's the best way I could explain Altaria. But Altaria does more support stuff than Salamence. Roselia, I don't think I ever saw Roselia. These viability rankings, I'm going to be honest, I'm questioning them a little bit. But then again, usage and viability are not the same, so maybe I'm missing something. But I'm pretty sure Roselia was somebody told me this in the comments, I never knew this. So check this out. I thought Roselia got Sleep Powder. I don't think it does. Yeah, no, it's an illegal move. It gets a Grass Whistle, which is Sleep Powder, but it's 55 accuracy. If it had 75 accuracy, I mean, if it had Sleep Powder, which is 75% accuracy, maybe we could talk. But with that, I mean, all you're going to be doing is setting up spikes, and yeah, we're going to see my spikers coming up in the near future. So now we're going into B+, which are supposed to be good Pokemon. Grumpig, already, I don't think I saw that Pokemon. I think that was one of my Ninjask Xatu Pokemon dudes where I was like, oh, I mean, on paper it seems pretty good. I think, okay, that Pokemon I'm pretty sure has a very high special defense stat. So, yeah, 110 and then 90. Yeah, those Psychic types just generally have high special defense. It makes sense. When your base stats are that high, going for setup moves, I mean, they scale out of control. Oh, Muck! I actually did use Muck in either my last battle or my last 2 battles. Muck, I saw people using that thing, and I noticed, I don't know why, I don't agree with this at all, but they would lead with Muck. I, I don't know what they were supposed to be doing or beating, but yeah, Muck, pretty good stats, surprisingly. 105 HP, 105 attack, jeez, with a curse. So what Muck does is it just goes for curse. And then it obviously is going to be using Sludge Bomb and some other moves too. As a matter of fact, well, I had a Muck. What did mine do? Wait, hold on. I had a Muck. I know I did. Yeah, see, there's Muck. They weren't there for long. I wish I could have used it longer, but this Pokemon I did like. Yeah, I had Sludge Bomb, Brick Break, Sub. I've seen people use Substitute Focus Punch on that thing before. And Muck has very high special defense. I liked Muck a lot. It's a shame that it didn't last long. Yeah, base 100. So, I mean, when you start cursing, you know what I mean? Your attack and defense is going to go up even higher. Your special attacks are relevant. Speed is your one drawback, I suppose. But being a mono poison type, it's not too bad because you're weak to obviously ground, but you're going to be cursing, so that'll offset the damage. And then your special defense is so high where Psychic won't be doing too much either. What else is super effective against Poison? I think that's it. Yeah, so defensively, Poison's not too bad. And even offensively, it wasn't that bad either because Sludge Bomb, yeah, I mean, it was, at this time in Gen 3, it was physical and had base 90 power. I don't know if it was always base 90 or not. But Muck, pretty good. I was sleeping on Muck for a long time. I don't agree with people leading off with Muck and then setting up like that. I would save it for later. I think that makes more sense. I would usually paralyze somebody with my Quillfish and then go into somebody else to kind of capitalize on. That's when I would bring in Muck. People leading off with it. I mean, it worked. I mean, I think I lost like half my team to a lead Muck before just because they never got fully paralyzed. But Muck, I liked it a lot. If this was based on me, I would actually move it up a little bit on this ranking system. But my opinion does not matter. Up next is Nidoking. To my surprise, I don't think I ever saw Nidoking. The stats, they're alright, but it's kind of like, I don't know. Nidoking looks like it wouldn't be very particularly good at anything. So I don't really have an opinion on that. But I don't think I saw it, so obviously I'm very biased. I would not put it this high. Quagsire, I did see a couple of times. I believe it was on that stall team that I faced. Quagsire, very infuriating to battle. If you do not have a grass type attack, which grass is not very common around these parts, it's very infuriating. And it gets water absorbed. It even gets damp if you want to do that. And then it would have, I don't even have to explain that. It's just normal stall stuff, toxic, rest, whatever. Pretty, I think, decent bulk. Phenomenal typing. Water ground has just historically been one of the best types in the entire game. It's only weak to grass. It's only ever been weak to grass. It's just hard to kill. That's the problem. Hitmonlee, I think I might have seen that thing like once or twice. I could be wrong, but I think ironically enough, I think I saw it when I was using Muck, and then I just one-shot it with Sludge Bomb. Don't really have much an opinion. Sandslash, never saw that thing. Sandslash, really? What are your stats like? Oh, you have pretty high attack and defense, so it looks kind of like Pinsir on paper. Never saw them. Walrein I saw a couple of times. Walrein was pretty alright. I wasn't the biggest Walrein believer. I think that's a sufficient spot to put it right there. Yeah, it just has so much HP. It's kind of like Lapras, I guess. I don't know how their stats differ. It had pretty high special attack too, 90 defense and special defense. Let me go check Lapras out. Yeah, very similar to Lapras. Similar defense, and Lapras has a little more HP, so I guess use whatever you want. Electrode, you guys know me. I literally had an Electrode on my team for almost the whole entire time, I think. Mine did not have Explosion. I've also seen other people using Electrode. I want an Electrode just because it is the fastest Pokemon, I think, behind Ninjask, but Ninjask, as I already talked about, Ninjask isn't too good in UU because it can't do the thingy. Probably better that way, because then nobody would play this format if you could Swords Dance Baton Pass. But yeah, Electro was kind of like a support. I had Thunder Wave sub Hidden Power Ice to catch certain Pokemon like Altaria, and then Thunderbolt. Because like I said, I saw Altaria a lot, and it made me very mad. So Electrode, I think, is fine. The other Electrodes, I don't think I ever saw another Electrode that was like mine. I think all the other ones either had Explosion, or I think I saw one that had Substitute Pataya Berry, which is pretty smart. I mean, you're going to be outspeeding everything anyway, so you can just sub down and get a free special attack boost. That's probably, I think that's smarter than what I used. I just had leftovers, because then at least you can kind of go down swinging. But my idea was maybe I could paralyze you and then set up a sub and then heal that way. That's kind of what I was doing. My Electro was kind of like support and damage. Up next is Electabuzz. I did not use one, but I did see it a few times. I gotta be honest, I was never really like, oh no, it's Electabuzz. I think it's kind of like one of those, I guess on paper it's not that bad. It was like, it's like what you would see in random battles. It was, like a substitute Pataya Berry thing. So, I thought it was okay. A rank, we have Hitmontop. Yeah, that's a pretty good spot for Hitmontop. I saw that Pokemon a lot. It is because, well, why do you think? It's because it has Rapid Spin. There are some other Pokemon that have Rapid Spin, but I think Hitmontop's the best one because it has Intimidate as well. So, you know, I can kind of dish out some indirect support like that. Then we have Nidoqueen in this tier. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. It's even higher than Nidoking. I'm not sure why. They seem like almost the same thing with a slight variant of stats, but I guess Nidoqueen is deemed better. But here's the funny thing. I never saw Nidoqueen, so I don't understand that. Golem, I don't think I saw that. That seems like a decent Pokemon because of explosion and just earthquakes and stuff. Yeah, base 110 attack. Yeah, it's kind of like Rhydon. What tier is Rhydon? Probably like UUBL, I would imagine. Yep. So it's slightly better than Golem. But with the rise of Hidden Power from Gen 2 going into now, things can just have good coverage like Grass and Hidden Power Ice. That's a very common one. So now you're just, like in Gen 1 you could wall some people, like for example a Jolteon or maybe an Electro, but now you can't really do that safely, because Electro can have Hidden Power Ice and hit you for that. For Alligator, I don't think I ever saw for Alligator, so I don't really agree with that either. Very high attack stat. Does this thing, okay, does it learn Swords Dance or not? It actually does. Okay, maybe you could do something like that, but I never saw it, so I don't have an opinion on it. Quillfish, that is, if this was usage, that had to have been S tier without a doubt. That was by far the most common lead. I myself used it. I don't know if I inspired other people to do it too, because I did battle somebody who used a very similar team in Pokemon that I've used before, so remember, there's not that many people on the format to begin with, so maybe I spread out the Quillfish ideologies inadvertently. But mine was, and people were commenting different ideas. I remember somebody, I think, said, oh, to get rid of Surf for Hidden Power Grass for the Amistar leads. By the time I saw that comment, which was, by the way, yesterday, the format had already ended, because it's the 2nd day of July right now. So, but that would have been pretty smart, because the Amistar lead was fairly common as well. Where is Amistar? Oh, it's a, okay, never mind, we'll get to that later. I thought it wasn't up here. Yeah, Quillfish, Thunderwave, I would have Surf, obviously Spikes, most important thing, and then Self-Destruct. That's going to be on all the Quillfish as well. Oftentimes, you'll be just literally staring down another Quillfish, and then it's basically a bunch of coin flips. I made my Quillfish max speed just to ensure that at the worst, it's a speed tie between me and their Quillfish. But if they so much as miss 4 speed EVs into that thing, I will be outspeeding them. And it'll help you out because you can paralyze them first, and then just based on math, it's probably more in your favor to come out on top of that exchange, because I have been in a situation before where I don't think their Quillfish was max speed, and by the time we blew each other up, I had like 3 layers of spikes and they had like 1 or 2. So that's pretty straightforward. Quillfish, very simple Pokemon, not much to think about. Then we had Glalie, which is kind of the same thing as Quillfish. I never really got around to using Glalie, but that is also an acceptable Pokemon to use. I think that's good where it's tiered at. It is an NU Pokemon, okay. It has very average stats, but it got things like, I'm pretty sure this thing learns Taunt, yeah. So already it's, wait, is it faster than Quillfish though? It is not. Okay, so you can't taunt Quillfish. Nice. Okay, so that's going to throw a wrench in your plans because Quillfish is everywhere. So if you can't taunt the spiking, thunder waving Quillfish, you're going to have a bad time. But it also got Explosion and Spikes and obviously Ice Beam. So it's all right. I do think Quillfish should be higher than Glalie though. Then we have Vileplume. I believe I saw that thing a couple of times. It's kind of like aromatherapy shenanigans. Chlorophyll. Maybe some people, you could run this as like a sunny day sweeper dude. That's okay because Heal Bell I learned is kind of annoying to deal with. But it was only one person that I had to battle that was using like Heal Bell stuff. But getting rid of status ailments was good against me because I did like to paralyze my opponents. I was surprised I didn't see more Toxic. I don't know why. Like, if you do a Gen 3 random battle, you're going to see Toxic everywhere. So how come you have Toxic everywhere, but Thunder Wave is nowhere to be seen? So the reason I personally use Thunder Wave is I don't necessarily believe Paralysis is better. It's just the fact that it has 100% accuracy, and I don't like missing all my moves. Moving on to the next tier. So now we're going to get into very strong Pokemons, it seems. First up is Mischievous. You guys know me. I think Mischievous was on my team the whole entire way through from start to finish. I was a big fan of Mischievous. There was not too many problems I'd run into. Like, it had very bad defense, but it had very good typing. You got 3 immunities. You're just like Gengar and Haunter. I would argue it's better because you're not weak to Psychic like Haunter would be. It's just your defense was very bad. Your speed was alright. But if somebody shows up with like Shadow Ball, like I remember Kangaskhan, that would be a problem for me. Kangaskhan, even Hitmontop. Hitmontop has very high special defense. My Mischievous set was just a sub Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, and Hidden Power Ice. With enough Calm Minds, I have swept several teams before with Mischievous. Maybe my favorite Pokemon to use. Yeah, probably, but it's not super consistent. But if the stars align, you can set it up fairly simply. And if they get paralyzed enough and you just get some more Calm Minds, outspeed some people, they're going to have a bad time. It's just that there's some, like even Ampharos right here, I can see that. You would need a lot of Calm Minds to get through that thing, and it has pretty good special attack, so this is one of those Pokemon where you would kind of need that thing to be paralyzed before you even tried subbing, so that's where my Electrode would come in and help. Next, we have Lantern. Yes, I did see Lantern several times. Lantern, I believe, has Volt Absorb, right? Yes, it has Volt Absorb, so it has an immunity that heals it. Lantern has very good typing. It's only weak to grass and ground, which I don't think my team had. Let me go see. Did I have any grass ground moves? No. Oh, yikes. Yeah, Lantern would give my team a lot of problems. So my answer usually, unironically, was Slowking. Setting up with Slowking. Even Mischievous, I think I did it one time, and then just killing it that way. Lantern, very good. It's kind of like a bulky support. Thunder Wave, it can Toxic. Thunderbolt, Surf, Ice Beam, whatever. Pretty straightforward. I think that's a pretty good spot for Lantern on this ranking system. Slowking. I introduced Slowking into my team probably around the quarter way mark, maybe a third of the way in. And yeah, I liked it. It was definitely one of my strongest members. It this Pokemon is inherently flawed. It's kind of like Suicune and OU. It's very powerful. It's just well, one, you're only attacking move Surf. So right then in A tier we see Lapras, which by the way it should not be that high up. But Lapras does have Water Absorb. So if they literally have a Lapras or a Quagsire, You can't do anything, and then you're sad. Another problem would be, oh, that stupid Haze Altaria that ruined my day that one time. Yeah, that was not fun. Haze can mess up Slowking. And then just like, it's not too common, but like, it's usually Ghost, like Shadow Ball or even Hidden Power Ghost or whatever from Hitmontop. Or even a Choice Banded Shadow Ball from Bayonet can ruin Slowking. But as for its electric and grass weakness, I never really cared too much about. Like, for example, a Lantern. If I just get up enough Calm Minds and Lantern's already paralyzed, their Thunderbolts, they don't do much, and then you just kind of kill everything. So, and then obviously another problem is when you're using Rest, Sleep, Talk, because mine was Rest, Sleep, Talk, Calm Mind, Surf. I mean, of course, you're not going to get the right moves every single time, so it is a bit of gambling from time to time. So that is an inherent drawback, so just know the risk if you ever plan on using Slowking in the future for whatever reason. I mean, hell, maybe you could bring that to OU. Gligar, I think I saw like one time and it like instantly died. To I don't even know what. Maybe my Electrode's Hidden Power Ice, or maybe my Pikachu's Hidden Power Ice. By the way, I think I already said this, but I had Pikachu. Pikachu's nowhere on this. Pikachu did all right. It's not like if you're behind a sub with Pikachu, you can kind of two-hit a decent amount of Pokemon. Like even these higher tier ones. I think Amistar will get one shot, Lapras 2-shot, Tentacruel 2-shot. Lantern with Wally. Blastoise is gonna die. It's decent, alright. So I just want to point that out before going on. Gramble, yep, I did see that a few times. And it was actually more in the form of like a bulky support. I think Gramble learns Thunder Wave. So it would have, I know it definitely learns Heal Bell, because that thing, oh my god, the pain and agony that I had to go through. It does learn Thunder Wave, yeah. It had Thunder Wave, Heal Bell, probably like Return and something else. It did really good on that one person's team because it just flowed really well. So it did give me problems, but Gramble didn't see it too terribly often, but it was always something that kind of demanded respect because its base attack is so insanely high. Up next is Blastoise. I saw Blastoise a couple of times, and the way it was being used, I don't think this is how it's normally supposed to go. When I think of Blastoise, I literally think of Rapid Spin and like, I don't know, refresh, maybe a support kind of, that's like what it does in random battles. But that one guy that I battled, he had Mirror Coat and Rest. So his plan was to basically unalive my Slowking by reflecting the damage with my Surf. Long story short, it didn't work. And I did defeat that Blastoise. So I don't really know how I feel about Blastoise. I saw it a couple times. It did alright, but I don't think that's how you normally do it. So I don't know if Blastoise should be higher or lower. Okay. A tier, so these are the best in the game, with the exception of S. We have Solrock. Yeah, I did see that a couple of times. I believe that best player that I mentioned earlier, they had a Solrock, and I suspect it was a choice banded one, and I think it had like Rock Slide and Earthquake and Explosion. Hit very hard. I actually liked that person's team. It was very like offensive, and it was Pokemon that I wasn't seeing a lot. It like he was the only one I believe that was using a Solrock, which I kind of respect. Tentacruel, I think Tentacruel learns Rapid Spin, right? Didn't see Tentacruel too much. Rapid Spin, yeah. To me, what attracts me to Tentacruel is like, I mean, look at its special defense, very high, pretty fast. Decent special attack. I would probably use it more offensively. I don't really know how you would use it. Because I'm pretty sure every time I saw it, I just unalived it as quickly as possible. So, don't know much about Tentacruel, but I did see Lapras a few times. Did you know that Lapras can learn Dragon Dance? I did not know that. So, it could do that. And it was a problem for my team specifically because of Slowking. I don't think Lapras should be that high up. It just feels like it was good because it kind of countered me. But then I had Electro and Pikachu to deal with it too. So, whatever. But if it gets a move like Dragon Dance or Calm Mind, it's already inherently going to be decent out the gate. So that's that for. But it's more of a special attacker though, because both its stabs are special. So I would think the better Dragon Dance user was Altaria. That's why I think Altaria should be much higher. Not just because of usage, but just the fact that it was pretty good. Like, I think Altaria and Lapras should switch. A lot of these Pokemon, I don't know what's going on. I did not even see half these guys. On to Ampharos. Yeah, that thing was very annoying. I didn't see it too much, but I think it has a very high special attack. Oh, it's right here. Okay. 115. That's pretty high. 90 special defense. Pretty good. Yeah, it felt very strong against my team because, as you can see, Quillfish dies. Mischievous is gonna die and it can't really kill it back. Pikachu probably will die in like 2 or 3. Electrode, same thing. Slowking's weak to it. And then I have Mawk. Now, my team has changed a few times throughout this, but I never really had a good enough team where I was never afraid of Ampharos. Every time I saw one, it kind of demanded respect and made me like wake up and be like, oh, it's Ampharos. Does this thing get Heal Bell as well? I hope not. Pretty sure it does though. It absolutely does. Oh my god. So we got Heal Bell, Thunderbolt. What other stuff do you know, huh? Thunderbolt, of course. Thunder Wave, obviously. Toxic. So it's pretty straightforward. It was just like it's kind of reminds me of Granbull's set, but more of a special attacking side. Yep, so Ampharos, didn't see it too often, but yeah, I think it's pretty good. Scyther, I actually use Scyther, and I have seen a few other opponents use it. I fired Scyther. I didn't think it was too bad, but I think I had a decent amount of setup Pokemon already, and Scyther I found had a very... Oh, look, the person who posted this was Big Fat Mantis. They're probably a big Scyther fan. Scyther was tricky to kind of set up because it was so frail, but I really liked Scyther. I did sweep a couple of people with Scyther, so maybe I shouldn't have given up on... What the hell am I looking at right now? Oh, I spelt it wrong. Yeah, see, Scyther pretty fast, very high attack. So this thing just goes for a Swords Dance. Boom, you're at 220 attack, and very good coverage for the most part. You would get what was mine? I think I had Silver Wind, which is a physical attack. Wait, oh, that's right. It's not even here. You have to go on the never used moves for Scyther to get Silver Wind. You could use Hidden Power Bug. This was a decent idea. You could have Swarm and Hidden Power Bug, which would for sure do more damage, but I didn't think that'd be as consistent, so I just, I mean, you gotta have Swarm, it's the only ability, but I had, I think mine was Leftovers, but I think I should have used something else. Maybe even a Choice Band would have been simpler or better, or a Lumberry. I had Leftovers. That probably was not the best idea. I mean, I'm not going to be staying alive very long with Scyther, so that's probably why it backfired on me. But Swords Dance, and then I had Silver Wind. By the way, I never got the Omni Boost, just throwing that out there. And then you would have, I'd had Hidden Power Ground, which for some ungodly reason is not here either. Was it Ground or was it Fighting? Ground or Fighting? I think it was Ground to get the, yeah, I think it was Ground to hit Poison and Steel types. Maybe something else too. And then the Aerial Ace, obviously. How is that move not here either? Dude, my Scyther set was very janky. I was using the usually useless moves. 3 of them were supposedly useless. Hidden Power, Ground, Silver Wind, and Aerial. Wow. I was cooking that day. But yeah, I like Scyther, pretty good. You don't see it too often, but that's a scary Pokemon if it gets to do what it does. It was very hard for me to set up though. Even if somebody was paralyzed, I would send in Scyther. But like, there's like Intimidate Pokemon such as Arcanine, Hitmontop. I think somebody else as well, and they would just lower my attack, and then I can't kill them when I see them, particularly Arcanine, and I wanted to try something else. But Scyther, very good. Amistar, I think that's a pretty fitting spot for Amistar. I saw this was maybe the second most common lead behind Quillfish. It had spikes. I learned that Amistar, I believe, can 3-hit Quillfish with Surf. Amistar's special attack is not low. It is 115. Its defense is 125. I didn't even know that. The freaking Ammonite has a 100 defense and 90 special attack. Wow. And then, oh, they probably all had shell armor too to not get crit. That's a decent ability, I think. So just go for spikes and then surf and that kind of stuff. It was kind of like Quillfish, only it did damage, but I preferred Quillfish because Amistar, it learns Toxic, and I did see that. I think that one stall guy had an Amistar and it did have Toxic. It's just I didn't trust Toxic. I thought I would miss every single time. So that's why you didn't see me using Amistar. I think I did use it in the very, very beginning. And then I'm just an idiot. So I think my first battle or so, I just got one shot by probably hitting Paragraph. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use somebody else. But Amistar, very good Pokemon. Very common Pokemon too. That is an acceptable spot. And then in the number 2 spot, we have Arcanine. I used to have Arcanine, and then I fired them. Arcanine never really did bad. I used mine as like a support. It had like Intimidate, and then I think it had Toxic and Rest, maybe Sleep Talk, and Flamethrower for damage. To me, Arcanine just has very good stats. Oh, yeah, other people use it too. They would always have extreme speed, which I guess that's fair. Oh, you could even put Flash Fire if you want for an immunity. Yeah, extreme speed, that's a very good move. Base 80, a priority, can't go wrong with that. People are using Fire Blast out there because they're maniacs, complete crazy lunatics. Don't be like them, use Flamethrower so you don't miss and throw your computer out the window. Heat Wave, what? Heat Wave is base 5 power stronger than Flamethrower, but it's 10% less accurate. I guess you would just use that for VGC or something. But yeah, I mean, you could have Roar as well, but it was just kind of like a support. And I've seen other ones using Crunch. Like I remember Arcanine would fight my Slowking from time to time in Crunch and use Hidden Power Grass and or Electric. But I never thought I was exceptionally good at anything, so that's why I fired them. But they were very good while they lasted, and other people like to use them too. And the Intimidates are annoying. Intimidate's very good. It's even better in singles, which this does not surprise me why Arcanine was as good as it was for a minute in doubles because of Intimidate and had pretty good typing, I believe. And then in the top spot, to my surprise, it's not really crazy, but it's Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan, though, yeah, I mean, I did say this several times. I knew I wasn't going crazy. Kangaskhan, pretty good. It had, well, let's look at its stats first of all. Pretty tanky, pretty decent attack, special attack, who cares? Decent defense. Being a mono normal type is actually, at this point in time in Gen 3, pretty good offensively and defensively, and it's surprisingly fast, which always surprised me. I think it was like, I think it's speed ties with Pikachu. Yep, 90 speed. That's despicable. It never did outspeed me, though, because nobody actually puts max speed in Kangaskhan. They make it as tanky as possible. And then they use things like, well, let's see. This thing gets Wish, right? Yep, Wish. Yawn, I didn't see that, but that would probably be very annoying. Oh, but what makes it really, this ability. Yeah. Early Bird, to me, in my mind, has never been a really strong ability, but Kangaskhan really showed how diabolical it could be. When Kangaskhan's already difficult to kill right off the bat. It's only weak to fighting type attacks. And Gen 3, I think the strongest one's Brick Break, so yeah, good luck killing Kangaskhan. I mean, who is the strongest Brick Break user to begin with? Brick Break. Oh boy. Pinsir, didn't see that guy. Gramble, doesn't really use that. Hitmonlee, didn't see that. Crawdon's NU. Kabutops, RU. Golem, never saw that. Aggron, never saw it. You see the problem here? Like, there's not really going to be an answer to Kangaskhan. Like, the way I would usually deal with it is I would just already be set up with, Mischievous, or Slowking. And, or even Pikachu one time. I think I killed a Kangaskhan because I think I just got lucky and paralyzed or something. But man, when it goes for rest and then it wakes up in a turn instead of two, you start to question your whole entire life. It has Fake Out. Nobody ever used that one. People would use Return. Me personally, I would choose Body Slam as, you know, more support. Shadow Ball, of course, that would always ruin my Mischievous. If these things didn't have Shadow Ball, I wouldn't be afraid of it. You just send in your Ghost, sub, Calm Mind all day, and then you win. Does this thing also learn Roar? It does! Yep. Kangaskhan could kind of just do everything. I don't know why these special attacks are here with that god-awful special attack stat. Oh yeah, Earthquake, of course. This thing even learns Brick Break, that's funny. But yeah, it could choose. Usually they would have Return, but Double Edge had base 120 power. Oh my god. Interesting, very interesting. Does Dizzy Punch confuse? Oh, 20% chance. Huh. I'm surprised I didn't see more people using that. Okay. Guess that's that. So my overall opinion on this thing that's, I guess the most up-to-date thing, because nobody's ever going to be playing this again, is this ranking system it's alright. It's okay. To quickly recap, yeah, D rank, that makes sense. I think Sharpedo should probably be a little bit higher just because that Endure thing it used. But I'm obviously biased. Most of this is alright. We have some cheesers, like Camera Up's blowing me up and stuff. So you can maybe put a little bit higher, because I guess it could one-shot anything. Well, okay, let me tell you this first. Based on usage, if this was a usage ranking system, this would be my opinion. Sharpedo's slightly higher. Jumpluff is fine where it is. Camera Up's fine. Fearow should be slightly higher. Hypno should be slightly higher. Altaria way higher. That's the most ridiculous spot, I believe. For even the viability too. Like, this thing was everywhere and it was pretty annoying. And nah, I think it was just a skill issue because I was using Altaria and I didn't feel it at all. I did not. I fired Altaria. I forgot to mention. Oh, that's right. I fired Altaria for Muck. Muck's way better. I like Muck. Muck. Oh, speaking of Muck, yeah, that's fine. I remember based on usage, Haunter never saw that thing. Like, I guess I don't really have much opinion on these lower tier ones. The higher tier ones, I guess, are kind of accurate. I did see these guys a lot. Okay, so I guess in terms of usage, it wasn't that much different with the exception of a few. The main one being Altaria. But I mean, you know, eventually I'm going to run into a random Camera Up or a random Victory Bell or a random this guy or a random that guy. So I guess in terms of usage, this is also pretty spot on. Now for viability, in other words, how good they actually are. It does seem pretty good. I do think Fearow should be a little bit higher. Let me go check Fearow's stats real quick. And base 90, you put a choice band on that thing, it's 135, and it's outspeeding most people. Oops. Yeah, I think Fearow should be slightly higher in terms of viability. And obviously, I'm judging the Pokemon that I actually saw, and I already said which ones I saw and which ones I didn't see. Altaria should be much higher in viability. Muck should be a little bit higher. Mainly because of me. I saw other people using them, but when I started using Muck, I liked Muck. Yeah, I was a big Muck fan. I guess maybe Electrode's slightly higher. Quillfish. I guess that's a fine spot because, well, no, Quillfish should be higher. Because I think it was the best lead, or I think it, well, I don't know if it was the best one, but I think it was going toe-to-toe with Amistar. I do think it's definitely better than Glalie. I mean, we already saw that Glalie can't taunt Quillfish. Maybe, oh, I think Glalie outspeeds Amistar, so maybe that's why Glalie's here. But I thought Quillfish was the best lead, so I think Quillfish should be like an A tier right next to Amistar, because they're basically doing the same thing. Mischievous, yeah, that's fine. Lantern, yeah. Gligar, no. I think Gligar should be a little bit lower. Blastoise should be a little bit lower. Remember, this is Viability. I think Lapras should be slightly lower, and even Tentacruel. This is just a really, really rough. I'm just loosely ordering it. I'm not making my own list. Mine would be much, much different looking. I think these two top Pokemon. I don't agree with Arcanine there. I think Arcanine would be fine in like A tier, but S tier Kangaskhan, yeah. Yeah. So I agree with some things, disagree with a lot of things, but I didn't actually think about who I thought was the best Pokemon, but Kangaskhan, yeah. Kangaskhan was kind of good at like everything now that I'm looking back on it. If you look at my team, as a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, Kangaskhan could two-hit my Quillfish, two-hit my Mischievous with Shadow Ball, one-shot Pikachu, maybe one-shot that guy with Earthquake, Slowking, yeah, the Shadow Ball, Earthquake to Mach. It was just always a good Pokemon, and it had Wish, and it had the Early Bird Rest, and we already talked about its typing being very good, and it's naturally very tanky. You're never really going to see Kangaskhan being weak to things, because nobody's really bringing fighting type attacks. So I think I'll agree with that. I think Kangaskhan may have been the best one, and I did in fact bring this up while I was battling. I said I had a lot of respect for Kangaskhan, so I guess that's no coincidence. So congratulations, Kangaskhan. I deem you the best Pokemon in Gen 3 UU for the time being until I see you again in the future one day. I don't know when that day will come. Maybe it'll never come, but that's alright. So, I think that's about it. Comment down below your thoughts, just literally anything at all that you saw when I was playing Gen 3 UU in terms of the Pokemon, usage, viability, whatever. Who'd you think was good? Who'd you think was stinky? Who'd you think was the best members on my team and the worst ones? I don't even remember who the worst person I ever had was. I only fired like a few people. But I think my best Pokemon, it was either Mischievous or Slowking. It had to have been. I swept many people with those two. I definitely preferred, me personally, I like Mischievous more. That was my favorite. But I think the ceiling was higher for Slowking, but the drawback is it was much more like riskier and gamblier. Because, you know, you might not get the right things when you're sleep talk. I already talked about the drawbacks. So you could run into a water absorb guy. And yeah, so I found Mischievous to be more consistent. But it was hard to get into that position. But when you're in that position, it's much safer. I don't have to worry about gambling. So that was my personal favorites. And I'm glad I stuck with it. Because on literally day one when I created these teams, I said I had a lot of faith in Mischievous because I saw it in random battles. So I was like, oh, if it's good in random battles and it's in UU, I guess I'm going to be using it. I've even seen somebody use this thing in OU, and it was a Perish Trap one. It had Mean Look and Perish Song and all that. So I never thought of that in UU. I saw other people using Mischievous. I actually saw them using more of a support one, like Thunderwave and Psychic. I don't agree with Psychic, but that's what they would do. But I never saw a Perish Trap one. Yeah. Mischievous, my favorite, definitely. And then, it's a shame. I was trying to find battles, but I couldn't. But I think I would have really liked Muck as well, as stupid as that sounds. I just thought Muck had very good stats. Like, I don't know. And it did do good in the one or two battles that I had in before the month ended. And then Electro was alright, but I just feel like sometimes it would just die. But I did like being... really the main thing I think I liked Electro for was the fact that I could... It was sort of like a setup fodder, now that I'm thinking about it. I would just paralyze somebody. And then I could go into either Mischievous or Slowking usually. Well, now it would have been Muck as well. I don't remember who was there before. Oh, I think it was Altaria, but Altaria, I did not like Altaria. So it was usually these two. These two are very strong, though. Or even sometimes Pikachu. Pikachu was kind of a meme at first, but it proved to be pretty strong. So I guess that's that for my opinion on it. So let me know what you guys think. This was a very long video. I would not blame you if you did not watch this, but if you did, comment down below what's something only somebody that watched this whole thing would say. Primeape. Just comment down Primeape. I'll be like, wow, they actually saw it. Okay, guys, I'll see you. Wait a second. I guess we could click on this. Let's see the spreadsheet with people's votes or whatever. Yeah, those are numbers. Yes. These are in fact numbers. Goodbye.